Hello everyone, I'm Tony, and today we're going to be playing Rogue Genesia. Just going to do a little bit of a quick review of it. It's a new early access game on Steam. I got it for just over £2, so a very cheap option if you want to have a quick look. Another Swarm Survivor, similar to Vampire Survivors, but with enough differences. It's actually a very interesting game. Let me take you through a couple of the things that's going on. So this is our meta progression. So there's actually different tiers of shop to buy these upgrades. You see, I've maxed out the first level. I've only played for about a day. I only got this yesterday. Not quite there on the rest of them. As you can see in the top right, you got the crystals or whatever they might be called that you use to purchase stuff. There's another level there. Quite a lot to buy, quite a lot of progression to pay for. So you get that currency by playing the game, completing the levels, and just achieving stuff basically. Which, talking of achievements, an awful lot of your weapons and upgrades are locked behind achievements. So let's have a quick look. You can see that the top one, this is just the beginning. Dying one time, unlocks slippery skin, which is a damage mitigation skill that you can pick up. And there's 17 pages of these, which is, what's that, 50, 85 achievements. So quite a lot to get through. And this is a pretty early access game as far as I can tell. So I'm sure there's plenty more to come. Let me also get into the game itself now. So I would definitely recommend playing with a controller because this is twin stick, which means you move your character with one of the sticks, and some of the skills, not all of them, but some of the skills you can actually aim separately with the second stick. There's two modes. Survivors mode is the typical Vampire Survivors game where you have to survive for 30 minutes. Different waves turn up, different bosses turn up at I think 5-minute intervals in this one. Pretty much what you'd expect from it. Rogues mode is where it's different and interesting. So let's go through the game itself in Rogues mode, and you can see I'm going to choose F rank world because it's a very simple run. It's a one level run. E rank world took me, I don't know, 40 minutes or so. F rank is a bit quicker. You still should get all of the idea behind what's going on. Bear in mind though that this game that I'm going to play now has a lot of things that you will not get when you first start. You won't get rerolls. Firing, fantastic AoE damage. You won't see that at the beginning. I've only just got Thorn as well. I'm going to go with firing to begin with because we don't have any weapons otherwise. Fractal's fine, except I've not got projectile. I'm going to take it anyway for when I get projectiles. I will be choosing that. God's Wrath, a little bit of a damage multiplier. So, let's explain a few things. Crates give either that orange thing that's up there, purple thing that's up there, which is effectively a vacuum to gather all of the experience that's sitting around. I'm going to re-roll there. It's not a great start. I've not really got anything. What you'll see in the top left corner, where it says monsters killed 13 out of 100, that's where the requirements for finishing this particular stage live. I'm going to get castle, increase my health and defense. So you can see I need to kill 100 creatures. These vary. It can be kill the elites, kill the main boss, survive an amount of time, or kill a number of things and survive an amount of time. So the requirements vary a little bit. It's very early on, so there's not like a huge number of different enemies or different stages. There's currently only 2. So every stage in this F rank world will basically just be this, or the different stages that you'll get to see. You see, we got the usual things that you'd expect: an ability to increase health, range attack area. Fire Spirit's great because it basically puts a burn on. You see there's different types, different levels, different rarities. The higher level rarities, the sort of purples and your yellow legendary stuff, they don't become available until later on in the game. At the end of each stage you're going to get some money, which you can spend in shops. Some of the stages will be shops, I'll show you that as we go along. And you get to choose a card. I'm actually going to completely ignore any critical chance and just get a massive damage upgrade. And accept that. So here you get to choose which path you want to go down. Skulls are just normal battles. Chests are literally just rewards, like more rewards than you get for finishing the stage. Not as much experience a lot of the time, I find. As we move further down, there's elite stages, which are skulls with horns on. And then there are super elite stages, which are triple skulls. And they are extremely difficult. I don't think I've got through one successfully. However confident I feel in my build, I've not yet successfully done like a triple elite one. Okay, sword rang, good weapon. I've already got some damage upgrades for everything. I've also got some, I think, range stuff, was it? I can't remember what I picked up. Definitely going to go Fire Spirit. Fire Spirit's a great boss killer, because effectively you hit them constantly. They're so much bigger than the rest of the creatures that you're fighting. You hit them constantly and you constantly renew a pretty impressive burn on them. So I went for Sword Rang again, which gives me some pierce as well. One thing you'll notice, when you've finished a level, there is a few seconds left. I'll show you the chest. There's a few seconds left where you get to run around. Definitely you use that to pick up any experience gems that are left on the ground. Okay, we get a card selection as before. I'll go firing. Artifacts. There's also artifacts in this game. Some of them are pretty game changing. They can have a huge difference, make a huge difference to your power, to your ability to get through the stages. As you fill up the shops, what you get is you get a rarity reroll, which is basically you choose which one of these rarities that you want to re-roll, and you'll get a rarity of the same. You get a different option with the same rarity. Later on in the game, when you tend to be picking up sort of the epic and the legendary cards, as they're called, they are absolutely amazing. Look out, see, that was firing and the Fire Spirit that really like trashed that boss in absolutely no time. More sword rang, more piercing. You probably noticed the sound that you get as you level up and you get closer. It's actually quite nice because you get to know just when you're on the verge of levelling up without having to look. Okay, let's just run because I finished the stage. So this game has dashes, extremely helpful dashes. You can add some dashes as part of the meta progression, and there's plenty of options for upgrading dashes, reducing cooldown, adding to the numbers, that kind of thing. It's pretty handy. I found dashes to be very, very useful in this game. I've tried out a bunch of builds to see what's feasible, what's usable. And early on in the game, before you've grabbed some achievements and unlocked quite a lot of stuff, I found that crit builds were okay, defensive builds were terrible, until you get to the point where you can pick up something called Turtle, and I basically became unstoppable. I've got some footage of it, and also gives you an idea of what my setup was. I'm going to go sharp edge here because base damage is always good. Increasing base damage is quite handy. Let's show you an elite stage sort of later on. I'll head that way. You can see I've got a couple of thousand gold in the right corner. That's going to be used in shops. I'm going to re-roll because none of that's really helpful. That is massive multiplier to damage. Very nice. I will take that. I haven't found crit builds to be that helpful so far. There's so many different cards that you can get, and I think there's going to be so many different combinations that I have no doubt that there's going to be some builds that you can make that are going to be incredibly overpowered. I mean, my one was unbeatable basically. I wasn't taking damage, I was running into stuff and I wasn't getting hurt. Bosses could slightly hurt me, but I had regeneration that would more than make up for it, so it was a crazy build. It was really good fun. I got to the point where I was running around avoiding the boss because I didn't want to kill it too quickly. That's how good the build became. We're not going to get there in this one because that kind of required the 2 levels. So just bring you up to speed, the E tier world, I'll pick that up so I can get all the experience. The E tier world has 2 of the maps, so the map that I'm on here, E tier has 2 of those. So once you've finished and you've killed the first boss, there's another one to go for. I will definitely take another projectile, thank you. Do I want to do that? Sure, why not? Let's go for it. Just before an elite raid, fantastic, what a great idea. I'll go more firing. Dash, I think. What I have found in this game as well is that most of the time the bosses aren't the problem. The bosses are actually relatively easy. It's the amount of sort of lower level stuff that absolutely ruins your day and just overwhelms you. Later levels are tough. In fact, I might, if I've got the option, I'll have a look, but if the option's there to take it into a sort of like super elite level, I'll do it and we'll see just how crazy those hordes can be. Because this is like incredibly quiet in comparison. Oh, I could go movement speed. Let's grab that. That's why I left the vacuum there. Definitely take more damage. And I'll take an upgrade to shops. Question marks are one of like a chest or a shop or just a stage, a random stage. Ooh, katana. I think I will go with katana. Now, with this one, I've got 7,000 gold. It's very expensive. A lot of the shop items are expensive, but I think given this short run, it's probably worth doing. Okay, we want to go middle. Let's go middle. Let's rarity reroll this. Okay, an upgrade to magic wisp. I should not have picked that up. Really didn't need to pick up a vacuum just then. But that's fine. Magic wisp is a kind of somewhat random long range weapon. It's one that sort of just wanders off and just attacks stuff randomly. I'm going to go with bow here. As far as I can tell, the only limit to what you can pick up is how many levels you can get. There's no limit on the number of weapons. I would say that it becomes very messy if you pick up lots and lots of different cards. It's much better to focus on a few and get a few fully leveled than it is to spread out, as in my experience so far. That's nice. The carved dice is a free reroll each time, which is fantastic. Let's go middle. Let's see what it gives us. Just basically a chest. Here we go. So free reroll. Fantastic. Great. Sword rang fully leveled. None of those are amazing, so I'm going to go again. Go base damage rather than a very small increase in whatever that was. Let's go wisp. Bow should come up a fair bit more often than wisp, so it's worth picking up the more rare stuff when you can. Now, when I'm feeling like comfortable like this, what I tend to do is try and wander around, break crates and see if I can find a vacuum. That's great. There's an option in the meta progression that after every so many crates you're guaranteed a vacuum. So I should actually be getting one pretty soon. I think I'm at 10. Every 10 crates I crack, I'm going to get a vacuum. I'm not sure what I'm on now. Oh. Too late. Let's just dash around and collect what I can. Let's re-roll those. I'll go with light armour. We are going to get wrecked soon. Just as a warning, this isn't going to work. I don't think I'm going to get through this. I'll go for a damage multiplier. Let's go for it. No being scared. Let's just do it. It gets crazy a bit later on. I am actually going to I'm going to go for a bit more defence because this is tame compared to the level it gets. I need a minute 33. I need to survive for that long. Yep, fully upgrade firing, that's great. Kind of tempted to move as little as possible. I've got a vacuum up there, so if I do survive... Oh, I definitely have that. I don't really need to worry about picking up the experience, I will get it when the stage finishes. I'm wondering whether this is going to make me out to be a complete liar and end up absolutely proving that I can get through these levels. I will say it's a pretty strong build. Yeah, I'll roll again. There we go. A bit more defence. This is a relatively strong build. Oh no, I'll take bow. Okay, heavy is max health, base damage, but terrible move speed. So I'm going to take it. I've got plenty of dashes. I'll go base damage. Why not? Ah. And then I'll take that move speed problem away by grabbing move speed. Well, there you go. I survived. This will be a shop. Give you an idea. So, card selection is effectively just leveling up normally. You can see you've got artifacts, I think they're called, that give you pretty substantial rewards. What I'm going to do, I've got 11,000, so I'm going to buy multi-handed, katana, and let's see what card selection gives us. So one more katana, and see, this is great sometimes, but if you've got enough armour, it's actually quite annoying to lose to dodges when you don't want to. I'm going to go katana. We've only got one stage left, which is the boss. So let's just do it. I'm going to rarity reroll that. Okay, this is basically the card that really made the build for defensive build. So let's show you. Move speed becomes poor, but it should mean that I barely get touched. That is the main boss. And when I said before about it becomes a bit easy, there you go. A bit easy. One thing that is worth pointing out is some of these levels, if this was an E rank world and I was going on to another map, what I would have done is run away from the boss, killed everything else and levelled up. Sometimes on elite stages you can do that too. You can run away because you need to kill 2 elites to complete the level, and the level continues until those elites die. So sometimes it's worth just levelling up for a while. Okay, so I did not get very many souls for that, but I can upgrade this. So if you overkill something, you get 4 times the experience for it. Sounds okay? So that basically is Rogue Genesia, which is how I'm going to say it. Really fun game, really good meta progress. I would say a little word of warning to people that don't have a particularly powerful gaming PC like mine. Mine's not very good. I had to play this on low settings, low graphical settings, because it killed my PC. The FPS was abysmal. So it may be that you need to downgrade the graphic quality. But if you do, it works fine. I've not had any problems. I would recommend this. If you like Vampire Survivors, this is similar enough that you'll probably enjoy it, and different enough to make it worth having as a different experience. So that's all from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.